Hey guys, happy Monday. I hope that your Monday is off to a great start. You know that Monday is one of my favorite days of the week because it's Monday morning chats with Sack, and Sack is me. I hope that you guys had a great weekend. Let's say that it was a very, very productive week. Like, I was doing something, like, it was always something to do from tax season. I was also a moderator for a conference Friday, and it was just so much. But the good thing is I got a chance to purchase some books, and so I purchased like 5 books. The rest is in my bookshelf. But one book that I got a chance to purchase is called The Black Butterfly. So if you've been listening to me, I've been talking about how I'm doing a research, a scholarly article. That's what people in academia, they write. And my writing focuses on pretty much like real property and taxes. And this book focuses on Baltimore, and it talks about how Baltimore's the map of Baltimore is shaped like a butterfly. And if you look at the butterfly, you see that all the discrimination as it relates to real estate. And so that's what my article is going to talk about, how, some properties are being overassessed. And what that means is that when properties are valued higher than what they're supposed to, then according to the local assessors, then that means a homeowner is paying more property taxes. And that's an issue where some people can get displaced from their home. So that's pretty much what my research really talks about. And I will discuss various solutions to that problem. So I hope that, maybe someone at the local government level can look at, or maybe take it to Congress to see what changes can be made. So I try to think about all the things I wanted to talk about, and honestly, I'm just going to talk, right? I'm just going to talk. This past week, I went to a vision board party. So you'll see the vision boards that I have. So I have 2 of them. One from 2021 and another one from, let me push this back so you guys be able to see, from this past weekend. But I want to read something to you. So if I had to label this, I would say your happiness, it matters. And your happiness, it matters. And healing is a good feeling, if I had to label this, because I really didn't have a title for this. So I want to read something that I saw on Facebook. And I was like, wow, I have to say this in one of my chats. I really had to say this. So it says, when a person is not in the right atmosphere, people will be able to walk by their side and not see how exceptional they are. Just please make sure that you are where you should be. And I just started thinking about my life, and I just started thinking about where I'm at right now. And honestly, y'all, I'm really happy. Sometimes I hear people talk about the happiness that other people bring, but I'm happy for me. I'm happy. Sometimes I just wake up and I'm just like, wow, God, you really gave me my heart, the desires of my heart, and there's still more to come. And I'm just patient, and I'm committed to what's next. And I'm just like, wow, I'm happy, and it's a good feeling. And when you're happy on the inside, it shows on the outside. And my aunt told me last week when I had the birthday party for my cousin, she was like, you're glowing. And I was like, girl, really? I was checking my skin. I was like, well, I got a good face routine, facial routine. And she's like, no, seriously, you're slimming down. You just look really good. And I was like, thank you, boo. I appreciate it. But yeah, and I just think right now in my life, it feels good. Now, don't get me wrong, I get overwhelmed. And I get overwhelmed because I'm about to take on a really big title this fall. I'll be a director of a tax clinic. That's a really big deal. And I didn't realize how much of a big deal it was. I knew it was, but I was like, wow. I get a chance to run this clinic however I want to. And so now I just been thinking about, who I want to focus on. I know who I'm going to focus on. So honestly, May up until when I start, I'll be doing a lot of outreach and just networking, just so I can get my name out there and get clients for our clinic. And it's just, I don't know, it's just, it's one of those feelings where, think about when you were a kid and think about the things that you wish for. And you're like, I want to become this when I become a certain age, whatever age it is. And you get exactly that. And the one thing I always tell people is that if you're not happy at your job, it will affect your personal life. And I remember being at certain jobs where the money was good, the benefits was good, but I was working so much and I wasn't happy. Like, I love what I was doing because I love to help people. But at the same time, I was like, is this really fulfilling? And I was like, it's not. And so that interfered with my life. Like, I remember one job that I had a few years ago, and I was in a relationship, and like, we did date night all the time, but date night sometimes had to be around like 8:30, where I'm just getting off the train and I'm like, hey, can you pick me up at the metro station so we can have dinner? And I really don't like eating late, but I was making adjustments because I was committed to the relationship. Like, I was making adjustments, but I realized, like, hey, I was tired. Like, I was so tired, and I just prayed at that time, like, I want to eventually teach. I just don't know how to get there. But in the meantime, I will try to figure this thing out. Like, if I need to get more practice, more lawyering practice, if I have to go to other law firms to get more practice, I would do that. And the second law firm that I worked at, I realized, no, like, this is it. Like, I don't want to go back to private practice. The money's great. But I was like, can I wake up every day and say I really enjoy it? But the great thing about being a clinician, like teaching in the clinic, is that you're still practicing, but you're also teaching. And that's like two things that I love, like teaching and practicing law. But the third part of it is that I'm able to serve the community. So just imagine thinking about all the things you really want to do in your life, and you get that. And sometimes I sit back and it makes me cry. And I'm like, wow, like, this is a good feeling. And I never forget, someone was like talking to me about retirement. Like, this is a job that you can retire from. And I haven't really thought that far. I was like, I'm just so much in the moment. Like, I'm not planning out when I retire. Like, I can teach all day. Like, I love teaching. Like, it's everything to me. Like, I'm patient. I'm understanding. I'm a great listener. I can communicate with my students. Now, you have some students that's just, I'm going through that right now. But yeah, it's a great feeling. So because I'm happy within, like, everything around me, it feels good. But I'm mindful of, based on this quote, I'm in the right atmosphere, right? And like I told my colleagues at my law school that I currently work at now, like, the collegial, like, environment, it makes me flourish. It's very positive. It's very uplifting. Like, I was a moderator this past Friday, and I swear, when I introduced one of the panelists, I, like, mumble over some of my words. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, what is this? And I was nervous. I was the first moderator for the event. And people came up to me like, you did an excellent job. And I was like telling myself, like, oh my God, like, you did horrible. And people were coming up to me like, oh my God, like, you did great and you're amazing. And I was getting emails like, nice job, Sakina. I saw you on Zoom. I think you did a great job. I'm like, okay. But that was like good motivation, because I felt like I messed up. And my colleagues was like, no, I mean, well, if you think you messed up, think about it. You were the first person. It's always rocky the first time, but I think you did a good job. Like, don't worry about it. So I'm in the right atmosphere. And the great thing about that is that because I'm in an atmosphere, people are able to acknowledge, like, my talent. And they see things in me that sometimes I don't see in myself. Not saying I have low self-esteem. I don't have none of those things. At one point in my life, I did when I was younger. Like, low self-esteem. I didn't think I was worthy, but I am. But I'm in an environment where it's very uplifting, like, very uplifting. And one thing I always do when I come into any workplace, I say good morning to everybody. If I see your door open, I walk past, hey, good morning, how are you? Have a great day. That's just who I am. That's just who I am. But for my colleagues that's been teaching for years, they come to me like, Sakina, how's your article coming along? How's your research? Do you need help? What can I help you with? I am here for you. And it feels so good. And even the new law school that I'm going to, like the professors, they check up on me all the time. Sakina, we can't wait till you come. We're so excited. Like we're so excited. And it just makes me happy. Like I'm just happy. Like no one can't take this from me. Like the feeling that I feel right now is just like everything. Like you can't take this away from me. So that's it. So just make sure that you are where you're supposed to be. Whether it's friends, whether it's relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's a house. Like if you're not in the right environment, you can't blossom. You can't blossom. And I will tell you that I let go of some friends, and I realized like those environments, they did not help me. They did not help me at all. But now I'm making sure that I'm in the right environment. There's times, honestly, where, like for me, I'll give you one example about fitness. So I made a commitment to work out, and I'm not even trying to lose a lot of weight. I just want to stay in shape. And I'm committed to it. So there's some times where I get invited somewhere and I don't even go. I'll just sit home because I'm like, okay, this is a distraction for me. Like, even though I know I can go and I can have control, but I don't want to be around that food because I'm a foodie. I love food. So there's times where I would just say, hey, I would love to go, but I would have to decline. And I will sit here at my house and I will cook dinner and then I will go out. And so I'm full, so I don't want anything. I'll get some water and I'll just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. But yeah, so you want to make sure that you're in the right environment. You want to make sure you're around good people. Like the relationships that you're in, whether it's platonic or romantic, like, do they help you? Like, your friends, they should matter. Like, I don't need a bunch of friends. Like, I tell my sorority sisters all the time, like, I don't need a bunch of girlfriends. Like, being in a sorority is enough. Dealing with all you crazy girls, like, it's enough. Like, I don't need a lot of girlfriends. I could tell you who my top 5 is. I don't need all that. I just want to make sure I'm in a good environment around good people because I'm a good person, right? And it's so funny about happiness, right? Because I will always hear, like, when I was younger, especially like when it came to like dating and stuff, I will always hear people say, like, Sakina, like, you'll be really good. Like, even like older women, like maybe I met them like at my job or met them through like a family member, like, come to a neighbor, like, you'll be really good for my nephew. You'll be really good for my cousin. You'll be really good for my brother. Like, you're just it. And I think at this point in my life, I always heard that, like, Sakina, you'll be really good for this person. And he was able to list out my great qualities. And now the question is reversed. But is this person good for me? Whether it's friendships, whether it's a romantic, like, is this person good for me? Because I want to make sure I'm in good environments where I'm able to flourish. And so if this person, I could be very good to anybody. I'm a good person. So when people say, like, you're good for this person, like, you're great for this person, at this point in my life, I'm like, is this person good for me? And if they're not, it doesn't matter if you're a family, friend, if it's a romantic relationship, whatever it is, if you're not good for me, I can't deal with it because you're going to affect my happiness, right? You're going to affect that. And I don't want that. And the second part is healing. It feels good, right? So I have a vision board in my room. I did this in 2019. And in the center of it, it says you have the right to heal, right? And there's some things that one of my friends, we always talk about triggers. Like, hey, is there something that triggers you? Like, what are you going to do to manage your triggers? Like, maybe it's something someone said or something that someone did. Like, how are you able to manage these triggers? Like, how are you able to manage it? Like, are you able to recognize it? And sometimes you may not be able to. But maybe if you have a therapist, maybe they'll be able to recognize it. But it feels good when you're able to recognize it yourself. And so that vision board talked about healing. Like, it was like December 28th, 2019. That's when we had our vision board party. Me and my girlfriend did a joint vision board party. And it was like, you had the right to heal. And the vision board also talked about like, it's okay to love. It's okay to feel. Like, we live in this environment where it's like, some people are like, oh no, catch flights, not feelings. No, I catch feelings. Like, I'm a lover of love. That's just who I am. Healthy love. That's it. And that's what my vision board talked about. Like, it just talked about being healthy and the right to heal, the right to feel, and like your mental health. It matters. It really, really matters. And the right to heal, I didn't realize that when I did that vision board, 2020, like during the pandemic, that's when the healing, like some of the new healing for me, like really started. And I thought it was some things that I got over, but I didn't. And I was dealing with multiple triggers in 2020 during the pandemic. Like, oh, I thought I forgave my dad, or I thought I forgave my mom. And all these things like just coming up to the surface. I'm like, wow, this is a lot. And then I started therapy. I was like, hey, I acknowledge this, I see it, but how do I cope with it? Like, what are the tools that I need? And that's when I started going to therapy in 2021. And my therapist, she always trying to end our relationship. She's like, you don't need it no more. I was like, no, you want to talk to me. And it was great. So it was like 2020, it was able to like see the triggers. 2021, going to therapy, and I'm a big advocate for therapy. I still go, like, just to talk to her. And just to tell her the things that I see, and I'm able to acknowledge, like, wow, this is crazy. This is really crazy. But 2021, I did this vision board, right? And it talks about how the center of my vision board talks about happiness. Like, I really believe that you control your own happiness. Like, you control it. And that was just me. Like, love me. Love is the number one ingredient. Like, you have to really love yourself. If you don't love yourself, it's hard for you to love others. And like I said before in my last video, if I tell someone that I love them, I'm telling them that I love them because I first learned how to love myself first. So if I love you, that's because I love me. So self-love, it starts within. Like, you have to love yourself first before you're able to love somebody else. But this board talks about being happy, right? Just being really happy. That's the center of everything. Like, my happiness matters. Love me. That's important. Own it. Like, own who you are. It's important to love what you're doing and be passionate about it. And so I did this in 2021. I was teaching, not knowing later on in 2021, I'll be offered my dream job. And then, love goes. I believe in love because I desire to be married. I manifest, I'm going to be a wife. So as love goes, and it takes two right here. I'm not sure if you can see everything. It takes two. Fall in love. Yeah, because I manifest to be a wife. I'm a Libra. I'm an October Libra. It's a difference. But I think October 10th up until the 22nd, we're different Libras than October 1st to October 9th. I'll tell you another day. But yeah, build a beautiful mind. I have that. And then this is all a part of my healing process. And I manifest these things. And then this last vision board, the top of it starts with God. And so that's to start God and love. And God is the good stuff. Shine on and feel liberated. When you heal, you liberate. You feel free. And so I don't know what's stopping you, but like, be healed. But another thing too, I posted, said, let's talk. Each of us has the power to get the things that we want. So talk about it. If you want to heal, talk about it. Like, pretty much confess the things that are holding you hostage. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, like, talk about it, speak about it. If it bothers you, say something. Let it out. Don't become hostage to those things. Like, let that out. You need to let that out. That is important. Once I made a decision to heal, like to really heal and to forgive, because healing and forgiveness go together, my life has been renewed. I'm good to myself. I'm going to always be a lady. I love being a lady. I love being a woman. I love red lipstick. Like, love it. And I made a quote here, choosing myself every day. Like, I'm going to always choose me. I'm going to always choose me. And I promise to live my life as I see fit. And I promise to be positive. And so, happiness, it starts with you. Like, you got to be happy for yourself. Like, you have to be happy. And healing, it feels good. It makes you feel liberated. And so whatever you're going through, like, you can get through it. But you have to confess it. You have to say, I'm going to choose me. I'm going to always be a lady. I love being a lady. I love being a woman. I love being a woman. I'm going to always be a lady. I'm going to always choose me. I'm going to always choose me. And I promise to live my life as I see fit. And I promise to be positive. And so happiness, it starts with you. Like, you got to be happy for yourself. Like, you have to be happy. I want to be healed. You have to say like, hey, I want to be healed, and be open to the necessary steps you have to take to become healed, whatever that looks like. Everyone's healing process is different. Like, you may have a healing process where you're doing so good today, like you're just like on fire, and then the next day you're just like, oh my God, I'm like so down, and I don't know if I'm coming or going. It's a part of the process. Like, sometimes I still miss some of the people that was in my life. Like, I still miss them. Like, I still care about them. Like, I still miss them. But again, it all goes back to the quote that I said, that I want to make sure that I'm in the right atmosphere. And those people, being around them, that wasn't the right atmosphere for them. I still love them. I still miss them. But I just know where I'm trying to go. I can't take them. And yes, it hurts. Of course, I'm human, right? We're human. I want to take everybody with me, right? But I realize I can't. But it's okay. But because I made a decision, and because there are boundaries that need to be established and that have been established, my life is liberated, and it feels good. It feels good. So I just hope that you make the decision to like do whatever makes you happy. Like, you be the controller of your happiness. Like, be the controller of your happiness. And then two, like, make the decision to heal, because it feels good. It really does. It does. I just pray that, you get whatever you ask for. You can. I'm going to put some new, sticky notes in my prayer closet, because I feel like if I pray on it and I manifest on it, like, it's going to happen. So whatever it is, like, write it out. And these vision boards, it give me something to look forward to. Like, I could look at my vision boards and say, hey, this actually manifested. Like, I was able to speak this into existence. So the things I have on these, it's going to come to pass. But I trust it, and I believe it, and I know it. And so I hope that you feel that way. That's all I have. So it is Monday, so I want to shout out to all the dope men out there. Like, you are amazing. You are great. You are phenomenal. Like, you're so phenomenal. You're so dope. You're so cool. Just never forget that. Like, never forget how amazing you really are, because you are. Like, you are amazing. Like, never forget that. And I just hope to everyone, it is Monday. This is the start of a new week, a start of a new beginning. And just know that you got it. Like, you totally got it. Like, you got it. That's all. I need to get ready for court. I got court this morning, so I hope that court goes well. You guys take care and have a great, fantastic Monday. Take care, guys.